Going on there, YouTube world? Um, Bringing you another quick little video on narcissists, our favorite topic. It's been quite an education. So this one really goes into why it takes so long to get over a narcissistic relationship or narcissistic psychopath, if you will. A lot of this was written by Peace, so good contributor. But relationships with narcissistic psychopaths, they take forever to get over. It's not like your normal relationship. It takes a lot more time to recover from a narcissistic relationship than it does a standard one. And a lot of your friends or family members, etc., they don't get that. Survivors often find themselves frustrated because they wouldn't or haven't healed as fast as they would like, and then they end up dealing with friends or therapists who give them this bullshit judgmental advice on how it's time to move on, and that's all they have to offer is move on, right? So this is all you're gonna get, unless they understand what dealing with a narcissist or a narcissistic relationship is like. So it's been said that and been proven that whether you're in a long-term marriage or a quick summer fling with a narcissist, the recovery process will be the same when it comes to a psychopathic encounter. It takes anywhere from 12 to 24 months to get yourself back into a good place, and even that, they say that you'll still have tougher times, unless of course you meet up with somebody that help you get through that. The important thing is to quit blaming yourself, right? So you're going to wish it could go faster. It's not going to. It's going to take whatever pace it's going to take. It could take 6 months. It could take 24, as they say. Something that's been thrown towards me from a lot of people, including friends and people she knows, is to stop thinking about the narcissistic psychopath and how they will win if you're still hurting. And it's it's not that. I mean, they're out of the picture, right? They're out screwing God knows who else, and you definitely don't want to be a part of that. My case, it's males, females, and it's pretty vast. So thank God I got the hell out when I did. Obviously, worries there with family, etc. But it is what it is. It is what it is. It's done. The journey right now is all about you. So if you come to peace with that extended timeline, which I recently have, and that is fine, you'll find the experience to be a little easier to go off with. You can settle in, start getting out, making friends, whoever it wasn't there or isn't there now because of what she said to him. By all means, they weren't friends. So cut the cord and be done with them. And just, soothe and get into the recovery phase. Why is it taking so long for you to get through it? I mean, you were in love with the person. They weren't in love with you. It was manufactured love, right? Your personality was mirrored, and your dreams and everything were manipulated by this narcissist bitch or asshole if it was a guy. You were in love, they weren't. And it's the strongest human emotion and bond that you can have, and you felt it with everything that you had. And they don't care about that. You felt it with all your heart, and of course it's always painful to lose somebody you loved or somebody you planned to spend the rest of your life with. In my case, I was fed lines and lines of bullshit about how we were going to have a family, and she was getting separated or in the process of being separated and not with the guy, and she really was. Plus on top of that with somebody else, right? So that's what they do. And you're going to have to heal from that love loss. And You can do that. Regardless of the abuser's intentions, your love was still real. Was not. I need to reiterate that. They don't care. And it's going to take a great deal of time and hope to pull out of the, I guess you could call it post-breakup actions, if you will. Even going further into saying it was desperate love. Here's where we branch off of regular breakups. Narcissistic psychopaths manufacture desperation and desire. You probably worked harder for this relationship, and I know I damn sure did, than any other one that you've been in. And you've put more time, energy, and thought into all of it than you have before. And in turn, you were rewarded with the nastiest, pretty painful experience in your life. I mean, you learn from it, right? So at least, you have that out of it. In the idealization phase of narcissism, they, in the beginning, shower you with attention, the gifts, the letters, and the compliments. I mean, I had letters that were given to me after we kind of parted ways, and they were still kind of nice. And I missed you, and I loved you, and I cared about you, and I want you around. But those same letters, I can guarantee you, were copied and given to every guy or girl in both cases, I guess, that she's been with and manipulated, unless they're still around. Unlike most honeymoon phases, they actually pretended to be exactly like you in every way. And that was funny, because a lot of the same things that I liked, of course, she wanted to hear first. And then, of course, she mirrored that after the fact. Everything you did was perfect to them. Put you on cloud 9, and then they prepared you for the identity erosion. You began at that point to pick up all sorts of hints that you were being replaced or something was going on. I found this in text messages. She had a cheat book page in my other videos, if you know. I mean, 2,300 plus people, all men for the most part, just giving that attention, which is what they all crave, right? So, and of course that encouraged your thoughts, ensuring that this person was in your mind every second of the day. And an unhinged, unpredictable lifestyle, the unpredictable lifestyle that narcissistic psychopaths hope to create, with their lies, the gaslighting, and triangulation. And if you don't know those terms, you probably should look them up. And by keeping them on your mind all the time, you fall into a state of desperate love. This is unhealthy and not a sign that the person you feel so strongly about is actually worthy of your feelings and or love. Your mind convinces you that if you feel so powerfully, then they must be the only person who ever make you feel that way. I kind of got that from this too. For the first part anyhow, for the first month or so. And slowly you need more and more to feel that same high, and they're aware of that, which is why they play those games. And you do everything you can to hang on to it, while they're doing everything in their power to keep you just barely starved. And it's common. I mean, what they do is just absolute bullshit. But narcissistic psychopaths have an intense emotional and sexual bond over their victims. This is due to their sexual magnetism and the way they train your mind to become reliant upon their approval. Didn't fall too heavily into that myself, thank God. Wasn't all that great. So, especially knowing that, shortly after that she had been with so many people. So, thank God I didn't allow that to really get into it. But by first adoring you in every way, you let your guard down and begin to place your self-worth in that person. I didn't do a lot of that either. I gave a little bit, but just because of what I found out shortly after. But your happiness started to rely on the person's opinion. Again, I let a little bit, not a lot, but I'm sure a lot of you have let it all out there. And of course, happiness is a chemical reaction going off of your brain, dopamine, and receptors, and which all fire off to make you feel happy or make you feel good. Like a drug, the narcissistic psychopath offers you this feeling in full force to begin with. Yes, they sure do. Their focus is on you 100%, and until they get what they want or they have something else to replace you. So, but once you become reliant on it, they begin to pull back, and you need more and more to feel that same high again, holding you in. And guys, you need to understand that. You do everything you can to hang on to it while they're doing everything in your power just to leave you be. And yep, that's absolutely true. So triangulation. There are thousands of support groups and or for the survivors of infidelity. It leaves long-lasting insecurities and the feelings of never being able to be good enough. It leaves you constantly comparing yourself to others, and that pain alone, at least from what they say here, does take a while to get over. This is kind of a funny excerpt. You've encountered pure evil, and I like to think more on the lines of gutter trash, but I guess evil works too. Everything you once understood about people did not apply to this person. During the relationship, you tried to be compassionate, easygoing, and forgiving. You never could have known that that person you loved was actively using these things excuse me, against you. It does not make any sense, and no matter how you try to rationalize it, it's not going to. No typical person is ready to expect that, and so we spend our time projecting a normal human conscience onto them and trying to explain away their inexplicable behavior. It's impossible. I mean, if I could go through the whole entire story of my relationship, it would disgust many of you, if not all of you watching it. So, but once we discover psychopathy and sociopathy or narcissism, that's when everything starts to change. We begin to feel disgusted, horrified that we let this darkness or gutter trash into our lives. But everything clicks and falls into place. All the accidental or insensitive behavior finally makes sense. Once you get to that point, it makes it fairly easy to remove them. So this is when you go to your friends and family and you try to explain it to them, and no one gets it. No one gives a shit, really, but nobody understands. I've had people on my Facebook, either remove me or block out stuff, which is fine, because they didn't get it. It was, he's bashing or whatever he's doing, and it's not that. And this is why the validation matters. When you come together with others who have expected the same thing as you, other people that have been in narcissistic relationships, you discover you're not as crazy as others or others may make you to be. You are not alone in the experience of being with an inhuman, soulless piece of gutter trash. It does take a great deal of time. I'm still dealing with it to come to terms with that kind of person and their personality disorder. You do have to let go of your past understanding of human nature and building it back up from scratch. You realize that people are not always inherently good, and I've known that for a while, but I didn't know somebody could sell themselves so short and also be kind of a good person, as much as this has in this relationship. You begin to feel paranoid, hypervigilant, and anxious. I guess I got a little bit of that, not too much, I guess because I didn't have to suffer through years of the abuse. The healing process is about learning to balance your new state of awareness of people and how grimy they are and how ratchet they are for the younger folks, and your once trusting spirit. I don't trust people as a whole anyway. I kind of did in this case. But yeah, you do what you have to do, I guess. After the eventual abandonment, most survivors end up feeling a kind of emptiness that cannot be described as depression. It's like your spirit has completely gone away. Sort of like theirs, but they have no soul. You feel numb to everything and everyone around you. The things that once made you happy now make you feel absolutely nothing at all. And you worry that the encounter with this individual, gutter trash, whatever you want to call them, has destroyed your ability to empathize, feel, and care. And of course, they don't feel empathy. They may show it up front, but they don't feel it. I believe this is kind of what takes the longest to recover from. It feels hopeless at first, but your spirit is always with you. Damaged, absolutely, but not gone. As you begin to discover your self-respect and boundaries, it will slowly start to find its voice again. It feels safe opening up and coming out, saying hello to people. I go jogging all the time now, and people are hello and nice and gracious. Just from getting a high, they're appreciative of it. Meanwhile, you were jumping through hoops for somebody that would kiss you one moment and go give a guy a blowjob the next, or God knows what else. You will find yourself grateful to be away from this person, happy that your emotions seem to be returning. That's great, and then it'll become more and more consistent. Ultimately, you're going to leave the experience with an unexpected wisdom about people around you, something that others will never get. Obviously, they don't understand what you went through or what you're going through in the first place. Your spirit's going to return stronger than ever before, and you're not going to let it happen again. You're going to encounter toxic people, but you're not going to let them stay in there very long. Thank God. You don't have time for the mind games and the manipulation, especially from a narcissist. And they will play that through and through. Male, female, it doesn't matter. You'll start to seek out kind, honest, and compassionate individuals if you can find any, because you deserve nothing less than that. It's as they say, the newfound strength is the greatest gift of the psychopathic experience, if you can find one. And it is worth every second of the recovery process because it will serve you for the rest of your life. And of course, you'll be more knowledgeable than the next guy or girl. If you're worried the recovery process has taken too long, stop worrying about it. You've been through hell and back. There's no quick fix for that. Trust me, I've tried to find it. I'm at a point where exercise and stuff like that is good for me. That's what keeps me relaxed and not having it all, get in my way. And then, of course, these random YouTube videos that nobody watches, right? And what's more, when all is said and done, they will probably become the most important parts of your life. And I agree with that. I've dealt with this individual for a short period of time and realized a lot about me, which was great, and her, which was even better, because I am so glad to be away from that toxic environment that she pushes on everybody else and enjoys pushing on everybody else. So with that, we'll probably create another video soon if I have another topic. Talk to you later. God bless.